Welcome back to the final preview show of 2021. I'm joined by Matty Jones for another instalment. And Matty, what a result it was last weekend against Moortown at home. How have the players come out of that game? Because I know we saw James Long go off during the game. Have you got an update on how he's doing?
It looks like he's torn a couple of ligaments in his ankle. So he's been assessed with the physios. And then just looking to kind of take it week by week. Obviously, kind of Christmas is kind of a 2-week break, so hopefully we're looking to get him back around the middle of probably January by the looks of things. And then everyone else is just pretty much the same old kind of niggles after a pretty kind of physical and intense battle like what we had on Saturday.
To go in 14 points down at half time is something, but to then come back and then win the game and not concede a single point in the second half, that is quite remarkable, isn't it, Matty? You tend not to see that very often in a rugby game.
Yeah, that's right, especially into the wind as well. So obviously they kind of had that win in that second half. So we knew it was going to be a bit of an effort trying to get out of our own kind of half. But the way that we kind of controlled the game, controlled the field position, the way that the boys scrambled in defence was everything that what we've kind of been building and asking for the lads, and to get that kind of 40 minutes out of it was fantastic. Take obviously nothing away from the Moortown lads. They played exceptional that first half. And maybe I kind of thought they had it in the bag because they changed their kind of tactics in the second half, and that worked kind of into our favour.
I know how frustrated you were, Matty, after the Cleckheaton game. Was that the perfect response for you? Was that just exactly what you were looking for after a hard week, not on the training pitch with the weather being so bad? Was that the perfect response for you and your side?
It was, yeah. That first kind of 30 minutes I thought was fantastic. That 10 minutes though, we went to sleep and let in kind of 2 easy tries off the back of another probably ill-disciplined with obviously the ref and the penalties that we gave away. So that second half, the way that we kind of fought back was exactly what you kind of want from what a coach wants from his players, is to have that kind of reaction and that willing and that want to kind of get back into the game, and then not only get back into the game, but then go on to win the game. So and obviously to do it at home in front of our kind of fans and the lads' kind of families for our last kind of game of this obviously this kind of round and the 2021 year was fantastic.
And now we turn our attention to the final game of 2021 against Heath, a side that we've already played this year, narrowly getting beaten in that game. They had a 15-9 victory over them at Morley on Saturday. It's going to be another tough game for your side, Matt. You expect the conditions to be pretty similar to what we've experienced the last couple of weeks, but you're going to have to grind hard and play a long game if you wanted to get anything out of the match.
Yeah, that's right. We played them first game at home this season, and yeah, it's obviously that kind of surprise factor goes out the window when you start playing them the second round. So we know what they kind of bring. We know what their kind of strengths are. So we need to make sure that we kind of rectify the things that we kind of got wrong in that first game, and also try and look to kind of probably kind of, as I said, kind of probably just bounce on or move on from kind of like what we finished off that game against Moortown.
And having a look at the team sheet that you've released today, I wouldn't say you've necessarily weakened your team. If anything, you've matched last week's and potentially even strengthened it. So you've got Joe Nellis and Jordan Holloway. Then the other prop is to be confirmed: Luke Brown and Will Renard, Ewan Govier, Drew Govier, obviously the skipper, Dylan Robinson, then Carlos Roberts, Tom Ratcliffe, John T. Holloway returns on the wing, Aaron Wilson, Joe Marshall continue in the centre, and then we have Joe Davies on the other wing and Pat Roberts, who continues his place at fullback. Aaron Thompson and Harry Cartwright return, as well as another person on the bench. So yeah, Matty, you've obviously got John T back, Aaron's back this week, Harry Cartwright's back as well. There's some big names in there that are returning for the last game before Christmas.
Yeah, mate, it's fantastic. Obviously, the uni's kind of finished for Christmas and holidays. So it's great for the lads that kind of want to kind of get back straight back into kind of club footy after obviously a tough kind of time what they've had, probably university games on Wednesdays. So it's great. We want to really get those guys kind of like back into the fold and get them kind of playing. So it obviously works out fantastic. So it's great. I'll step into that prop. So I'll start at prop. And then Ed Hopper is going to come onto the bench for us as well. So yet again, we're at kind of full strength, and we're looking to really kind of see if we can kind of upset a strong kind of Heath team at their place. All the lads are looking for a good kind of day out, and the way that'll happen is if we put that kind of performance in, that's what we're after.
And just finally, Matty, I've seen the list of supporters that are going, and it looks as if the list is near enough full for Saturday. So we're going to have a full coach of players and supporters. It would be really good, wouldn't it, to round off 2021, a year when we didn't even think we'd see any rugby, to go off with back-to-back wins against two very good sides and potentially upset the odds by going to Heath and winning.
Yeah, that's it. And as we said, Christmas the Christmas bus trip is obviously a great day, not only for the players but the supporters who kind of travel with us every week in, week out, and they enjoy it just as much as what we do. So it's going to be fantastic. As I said, we want to go and put a performance on. We don't want to kind of finish our season with our last kind of home game at Moortown. We want to make sure that obviously we go into the holidays on a kind of good performance. If that brings a win, then that's what we're after. But we want to have that kind of positive, energetic kind of performance at Heath. So that we kind of go into that kind of break, knowing that we've done the best that we are, and we're back to kind of where we want to be, and not that kind of not the last kind of couple of away games that we're kind of putting showings up with what we've done.